Welcome everyone, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have another Twin Flame read for you. This is the Divine Masculine. Take a deep breath. Okay, so it's early today, so I could get out to you the read I did yesterday. And this is, again, the Twin Flame Divine Masculine. It affects the masculine within the Divine Feminine as well. And it is a general read, so if something doesn't resonate with you, please don't force it to fit. All of my information is below, as well as my CD, Ashes, Twin Towers to Twin Flames, available on iTunes, CD Baby, Google Play, and Amazon. Okay, so, and my website, it's twinflames3344.com, and my Gmail, if you have a question, is the same at gmail.com. So when I put out the read in front of you, I decided yesterday, before I did all the main clarifiers, to actually clarify with the Kipper deck, which is very unusual. So I'm going to give you the information I got from that Kipper clarification, and then I'm going to start the formal read. I'm going to show you the cards that came up, just the basic read and the full read. All right, so this is the basic read that's in front of you. And then here is the full read there. Okay, and a little bit the cards up here as well. And let's see here. Okay. So when I cut and dealt this deck, the SIRIAN Starseed deck, and this is a 7-deck read. The SIRIAN Starseed deck is the main deck. It was 1122, which is 11 Justice and 22 is the Fool. And this was yesterday, which was July 8th, 2020, and that was the 8 of the Strength card, and the day added up to 19, which is a 1. It's also the Sun. So we were dealing with the Sun and Strength, which are both Leo cards. So very much being in the spotlight. And actually Leo was getting some really positive energy toward it the day before. So and I'm just getting reminded to say it's also August in Lionsgate, because it's very, Leo, 8/8. So the Kipper deck, when I clarified this read with the Kipper deck, I was getting a someone's health, a man's health was definitely better, but then the relationship ends. I was actually asking, because the Queen of Wands is in the present moment in the crowning position in the read, so I was asking who exactly is the Queen of Wands. So the underlying energy was the courtship card, which is also the number 4 with the Emperor, and the Emperor card also came out. But the health is better, relationship ends. Someone's imprisonment actually ends up being a gift to them. The community card came out with the Thief reversed, but the community card was upright. And then there's a journey to the courthouse is done. So any legal dealings were done. Now there's a path to poverty. The marriage, the lover, perhaps a reversal of wealth, but now official and true, a move of the Divine Feminine with no expectations from hard work. No more tea parties or move of main female with 2 girls that they must work now. So there's definitely a big transition here, and the Tower came up as well. No more pie in the sky, and reversal of fortune and loss of or change in occupation. Or perhaps someone who wasn't working now has to work. And perhaps also a child no longer seeing their father the same way, no longer privileged, or perhaps no new car or move. So whatever it was they were supposed to get or do doesn't happen for some reason. So let's see here. Also the King of Cups with the Page of Cups with the Tower over them, and to the right Um, High Priestess could be moving or chosen path of the Queen of Cups wearing the quilt with no expectation. So the theory of the quilt, I brought it up before in my reads, having to do with sewing all the pieces of the quilt of your life together, which is the journey that we're on. Um, with the King of Cups and the Page of Cups and the Tower over them, and to the right, which is the masculine side, the jury's out on playfulness. The divine masculine or his partner or child may be disinherited, and the emperor's health may be improved, but not the relationship. So the emperor ends courtship with the Queen of Wands reversed, the Queen of Swords reversed Aquarius, and kids just like her. With the King of Wands injustice or Libra reversed didn't go in his favor, the wounded warrior juggling or performing to keep their energy high, confessing, dumping a load, healing, forgiving, and suffering in silence and spreading the word. The secret passion, but not telling the King of Wands and the King of Swords, and feel like they were made a fool of. The King of Wands and King of Swords pushed the fool off the edge. So perhaps somebody else was pushing these two knights. I'm sorry, they weren't kings, they were knights. The Knight of Wands and the Knight of Swords feel like now that they've been made a fool of because they were forced to push the fool off the edge. That's the energy I was getting. The Devil's Wave, Capricorn presents the truth to Ego, King of Cups reversed, focused on staff of awakening and seeing synchronicities. And the King of Cups fell. Also, Mommy's minions were coming up, ordered to cause the Capricorn's fall, or Capricorn presents the truth to the Pisces, King of Cups reversed, or egotistical man, and took him down a notch. The Hermit reversed, saving face or hiding frustration, and third energy, without option, with a big love being offered, while the Knight of Pentacles helps dysfunctional family, or the Ten of Pentacles family, business, or legacy reversed. Could be a loss of family or money, or a bunch of spenders of his money, time, and energy. The Hierophant or Taurus or marriage establishment, over without a fight, or no more conflict, no more pie in the sky, fortune or occupation. The main male goes on a journey to confront the Queen of Wands reversed, who's knowing but keeping it to herself on purpose, causing the issues, drama, but keeping her energy clean, pretending to be pure or innocent of any wrongdoing, acting like spoiled child or getting kids to do her dirty work. The Tower and Angel falls, losing patience by holding back decision, information, announcement, or call from the Queen of Cups reversed and the King of Swords reversed, destined or their destiny, or holding back an inheritance from its rightful owners. After a mother's perhaps passing, or a case laid to rest, or didn't get what was promised after working so hard. And again, the theme again was coming up as the King of Cups reversed and the Page of Cups reversed, and what their relationship is, very much a father and child. So that could be the masculine and his father, or the masculine and his child. So also, when assessing some of the number clusters from my little piles here, the first thing I was getting was something that reduced to 28, 82, and 19, which then reduces to V8. So that was significant for me for sure. V for me is creation, and then 8, of course, the dance between the masculine and feminine. So that's a very powerful number coming up as V8, have a V8. And of course, 28 and 82 are reflecting the twin flames, and then the 19 of the sun. So again, that Leo energy was coming up double in the date yesterday. I also had another cluster that came up as 79, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and V69 as well. 69 is the Ace of Pentacles, which is that new life of perfect contentment. At 12:53, I was getting the truth is hidden as I was dealing out the clarification cards, and then I finished at 109 to 110, literally as the clock changed, 109 to 110, and of course 1 and 9 add up to 10, and was very significant here because it had to do with change in the code line, and I was getting clusterfuck and just a big mess is what I was getting from that message. The major arcana in this read were reason, which is the Emperor, abundance, which is the Empress, strength, and ascension, which is the world, and then before the read, karma came up, which is like judgment. We had the one of wands. We had 1 wand, 2 swords, and 4 cups. There were no pentacles in this read. A lot of cups, which is unusual for the masculine, very heart-based. And then the core cards were Page of Swords, Queen of Wands, Page of Cups, Knight of Cups, and King of Cups. So a lot of Cups energy here. We had a king, a knight, and a page. So a father and children of the same family. And then the Page of Swords and Queen of Wands as well. And then the Knight of Pentacles before the read. And after the read was the Page of Wands. Excuse me. As far as the numbers, we had literally in the read, all there was 10-4. That was it, the 4 and the 10. But with the reads outside the read, we also double 10s and double 2s. Double 10s is just keeping that very high vibration. But it's the 4 of the Emperor and the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune, the turn for the better, destiny. And the code line was all about change. And the number was 10. And 10 was, they were referencing 10 as the change because that's the high vibration already going into the new cycle. And it means it turned for the better. So allowing the changes. The code line, I was getting all roads lead to 10 was the first message I was getting. And then 9-10, again, begin again is the change. And Angie coming up. So the song Angie was coming up again. Angie. All right, so you might want to listen to the lyrics of that. It might reference you, or your name might be Angie. There may be a message there for you. But also the code line referencing change. And by the way, the other numbers that came up were just 410, which is 41 with a 0 behind it. So that's the Ace of Cups, backed by source energy. 124, which is 12 and 4 of the Hangman and the Emperor, but also 124 of the Magician and the Queen of Wands. We have 22 of the Fool, the 210, which is 21, backed up by the 0, which is the World and completion. 24 again of the Queen of Wands, 47, which is the 7 of Cups, and 810, the 0 backing up the 81, which is the end of karma. And then 78 came up in a lesser sense, which is the 10 of Pentacles and the end of the deck. So the code line was all about ETs and ETAs. Also, the staple was coming up. ETA staple. To see the adept or the good, the knight, the 10 of Cups, King of Cups energy, and the God and Elohim energy, or the Christos Sophia, was coming up. That I am a Jesus energy. So this is for the masculine. So it was referencing again that he is the Jesus template. He is that energy. It was referencing the God energy of the Christos and the Elohim as the Sophia. And the 10 of Cups family, right, the emotional family of the King of Cups, and the energy of the God Elohim, or the Christos Sophia. The between state of the after death but before death, or afterlife but before death, that in between state of the 0 point. The alternating currents like electricity and direct current were coming up. So the direct current has to do with something like a battery or lightning or rubbing your hands together, which is a constant polarity. And then the alternating currents, the power plant and the outlet have an alternating current. It changes direction at a frequency that the turbine spins. The movement of electrons through a conductor, like a wire. And also the group AC/DC was coming up, and Angus. So Malcolm and Angus were were the ones who started the band, but Angus specifically was coming up here from AC/DC. And Angus is a very unusual name, but and then Black Angus comes up, which references steakhouse. So there's something about that that's just coming up now. But referencing back to the electrons, movement of electrons through a conductor like a wire. AC/DC keeps it in the in-between state, so the alternating currents, like ETs, entertainment tonight, but also ET means and in French, and is the in-between state. And entertainment tonight keeps you up to date at 0 point, being present in the moment. So some of the information here is coming up from reference.com, sciencing.com about alternating currents and direct currents. And then, of course, enwikipedia.org and diffen.com, this DIFFEN. And then all about circuits.com. So AC/DC and the King of Cups in the in-between state, like the ETs in Entertainment Tonight, keeping it up to date, and then the ET of the and in French, to see the aid or the ADDI. Also, P.F. Chang's was coming up, and EPF, which is short for Employee Provident Fund. It's like a matching retirement fund in India. So that came up. To see the good or the night in the temperature rising of the emotional family of the King of Cups as their energy changes. So as the temperature rises, remember that the 89 always comes up as the reversal of the human body temperature. So when our temperature isn't at its normal state, it's in between state 98. If it goes up, it knocks us off balance. And when we get too cold, it also knocks us off balance. And the F references that. The temperature increases as you come into your emotional family of the King of Cups, which is the unconditional love energy of the masculine. The energy changes. So it's like alchemizing into the Cups energy of being heart-based, seeing the good night, the light part of himself. Another header that was coming up was, or the headers that came up were the 7 chalices poured out from Agape Bible Study. The answer that the 6th angel's chalice or bowl announces the invasion of the kings or armed forces or kings from the east who crossed the Euphrates River, followed by the demon spirits that looked like frogs. And remember that the masculine always comes up as the frog becoming the prince. So this is like becoming the prince before it's too late, and he ends up being one of the frogs, right? So the chalices from Bloodborne Wiki, it was very interesting. It was saying the root version after the sacral production to get to the next depth chalice, defeat the solar plexus boss. So that was me interpreting the 1, 2, and 3, because they literally said receive the root version and the second layer. So for me, after going to the root version, they're talking about the sacral production to get to the next depth chalice to defeat the solar plexus, who's the boss, right? The one who's really confident. So that was really cool how that came up. That was it literally was titled chalices or Bloodborne Wiki. The next header was chalice.com, which is about sponsoring a child, that education is the most important in changing their lives for them, allowing them the funding to get an education. So all of that was coming up. It's now 18 minutes, just right on the dot. ResearchGate.net also came up with an article about the design of master and slave molecules on battery. And this didn't come up, battery wasn't in the title or anything, so battery just happened to come up again after talking about batteries, and slaves and masters. Regarding management systems and electric vehicles, this article was about. The life of a battery depends on usage, charge, discharge, and temperature, all right, which all are coming up in what I was just talking about, but none of those words were in the header, so it was very cool how that came up. Also, when I was getting usage, I was getting Osage Avenue, which again is about the temperatures rising, the heat, fires, and all that kind of stuff. So the incorrect use leads to burning, explosion, or shortening of life. So again, this is the incorrect use of energy leads to burning, explosion, shortening of life. And they were specifically talking about energy in reference to a battery, but it's referencing the twin flame journey. So the next header was, what's the difference between a normal chalice and root? And this was from GameFAQs, GameSpot.com. So the root chalices, sadly, require internet connection. So when you're root-based, you're being very 3D, and there's a competitive aspect there. The roots are random, AC/DC as opposed to direct. So it's getting the randomness has to do with alternating currents as opposed to being direct. So again, back to the code line of the ETs and the AC are alternating current, which also can be air conditioning, where the air signs need conditioning because they're getting too heated up. Seeing the extrasensory perception, or ESP, in the rising temperatures of the 10 of Cups and the King of Cups and their energy change. So it's for us to see the after death ESP temperature changes or as they match funds or equal energy. The emotional family, the master of the house, which is actually the heart, the energy and power changes and also charges. I was getting the charge and the friction and the directness of it. The aid of the P or pi and the F, which is phi. So pi and phi were also coming up here. The off-centeredness versus doing something about it. Okay, because phi is referencing, I had brought this up before, that phi was coming in as the need to do something about the off-centeredness, and the pi of the P shows the off-centeredness, but the phi is forcing you, the temperature rises, forcing you to do something about it. And that's referencing the charge, right? When you get triggered, that's a charge. And the changing of direction, back and forth, the dance between the polarities, between the masculine and feminine, between the 3D and the 5D. The pi relates to the centeredness, phi to the temperature being high due to off-centeredness. Pi closes the pin. If you've been with me for a long time, you know about my pin reference. I did a diagram about the safety pin, explaining the taking in of the energy from the feminine, from the sun, and then bringing it down into the circles of the bottom of the pin, becoming the masculine pin, and then he's the back of the pin, and then the top is the header with the closure in it. And then once the feminine is filled up, the pin closes because of the vacuum. The masculine is able to then use that energy, and then when it's used, the pin then drops open again for the feminine to collect sun as well, or again. So the pi relates to the centeredness and the pin. The phi is open when the pin is open and out of control. The T in the road, the dead end, where you made the wrong turn, off path, thinking you knew better than the universe, provided the east or west, insisting on your own way. Like a maze, if you are blocked, find another way instead of insisting that you are right. Go left. Unless, of course, you want to forge a new path, which takes a lot of effort and energy. It would be a lot easier if you just go with the flow of energy, the path of least resistance. The stillness, or the I of the inspiredness. So here we're getting the S and the I from stillness and inspiredness, and then I was getting the SI joint, the sacroiliac articulation. Must keep moving to stay between in balanced spine. Communication between the root and sacral and the atlas vertebrae, or the AC alternating currents of the atlas and the C1, so the first two vertebrae in your neck, with the third eye in the throat. So this is referencing, this came up from spinalalignment.com came up when I put in SI or whatever I was getting at that moment. And so that was the information about communicating between the root and the sacral and the atlas vertebrae, or the AC atlas and the C1 and the third eye and throat, referencing that location. Number one, the atlas misalignment causes the nerves to misfire and therefore send fuzzy signals to the body, stressing the whole body and causing slouching. Number two, it can decrease blood flow to and from the brain and cause headaches and fogginess and or grouchiness and feeling like you're unclear. And then three, there's a fluid sac around the brain and the spine that attaches to skull, the sacrum, and the tailbone, and the first bone in the neck, the atlas. And also that the head is like an 8 to 10 pound bowling ball sitting on the atlas, right? It's a holder, which is so cool because I have an atlas that literally holds a crystal ball that's on my mantelpiece. When it twists out of positions, the whole sac twists and pulls the two ends together out of alignment, causing the hips to twist and rotate and the leg to go short, with extra pressure on the skull. The torsion on the dura will lock the skull bones down, creating headaches and what's it called with your jaw? Anyway, the atlas misalignment causes the three things I just told you about. So for some reason that was coming up. Also PSI, pounds per square inch, were coming up, referencing how heavy the head is on the atlas bone. And then PTSI was coming up as physical therapy per square inch. I was also getting with Angus was coming up again regarding sine and the sinus rhythm. So the SI, but then the NE of the sine or sine, and then the sinus of the SINUS of the sinus rhythm. And so ETA was coming up back to the code line here. The DC, which is discharge as well, as in the AC/DC, I'm getting discharge. So the estimated time of arrival with DC, and that's referencing Washington, D.C., seeing the after-death extrasensory perception, or ESP, where the temperature rises with the Ten of Cups family, which it references the United States as well, with the King of Cups referencing its leader, and the energy changes being more towards the Jesus template of the Divine Masculine. Alternating currents of DC, which reference in discharge. So when you get charged by a trigger, how to discharge, alternating currents, and also Washington, D.C., and air conditioning. Also Atlantic City was coming up because Atlantic is referencing back to Atlantis. To see the knight to king going through the family or emotional fulfillment. And this is like a chess match coming up here. Where the knight to king going through the family to get emotional fulfillment. So the knight was finding a way to get to the king by going through the happy family, or finding his own emotional fulfillment, that was the only way to get to the king, or for him to get to his king status. And pounds per square inch, again, was coming up as important here, as well as PT per square inch, or physical therapy. Or that could be part-time for some people, like slowing down, not working your ass off. So sine and cosine and tangent were coming up, all ratios of angles of the right triangle, which also references the square angle, right, the right triangle. And then sine or sine is the trigonometric function of an angle. So the right angle equals the ratio of length of the opposite side to the length of the hypotenuse. In this header from medicinenet.com was also coming up about sinus, the heart sinus rhythm set by the natural pacemaker of the heart, which is the sinoatrial or sinus node in the wall of the right atrium. It's like a steady pace of electrical impulses which changes based on your activity or emotions or your rest, etc. And then also from enwikipedia.org, the passage of the sinus enclosed between the limbs of the inverted U of the venous mesocardium behind the left atrium and in between. So here again is the in-between state of the left and right pulmonary veins. So there's an oblique sinus and transverse sinus. For some reason, those passages were coming up as important. The oblique sinus is an inverted U around the heart area, and then the transverse was also coming up in a lesser sense. The estimated time of arrival of Christ, seeing the night conversion of energy by getting to the king, by going through the family, the direct route, checkmate. And it was so cool because in the coding yesterday, I was getting check E, which has to do with the masculine's karmic, and checkmate is saying to check your mate. So this message was very cool. Again, estimated time of arrival of the Christ in the Christos Sophia, seeing the night conversion of energy by getting to the king, by going through the family, and emotional fulfillment, the direct route, going straight through it, not around it. Checkmate. This is getting to the king. And then again, like check your mate. It was very cool how this comes back to that. All right, so we start this read. It's already 29:41. 29 is the Three of Wands, and 41 is the Ace of Cups. We start on Reason reversed, which is the Emperor reversed. Okay, so this card here is Reason, with the four big cards below it being Karma upright, Eight of Wands reversed, Two of Cups reversed, and Knight of Pentacles upright. No reason, after judgment, and at 322 I was getting connection there. No reason after judgment of karmic or announcement, crown opening, not telling and holding back feelings and energetic exchange, or in a heated debate in disconnect, not seeing eye to eye or face to face with the Knight of Pentacles. So here's the Emperor and the Knight of Pentacles. The Emperor's reversed and the Knight of Pentacles is upright. Checkmate. The Page of Cups message of love or child under the radar suddenly, or caused a sudden event, epiphany, or other kind of explosion or eruption or drama, or blew their top, crown, cover, or blew their mind. Looking back at split, lies, or a need for clarity, to pull the Excalibur sword from an innocent's heart. Yet in their knowing this, did nothing about it. Or that one is not on the journey, the one that's not on the journey knew the whole time, and the Emperor reverse suddenly finds out, or is suddenly found out. Resting, meditating in the 5D connection, the Queen of Pentacles and Empress and King of Pentacles reversed, implementing a plan or strategizing to get the Divine Feminine's heart to choose another path and recover the Page of Cups at home with the Ten of Cups, happy family or emotional fulfillment. The Empress between the King and Queen of Pentacles, the Queen is upright, the King of Pentacles reversed, and the King of Pentacles left to figure out a plan to get back in the good graces of the Page of Cups, with the Four of Wands and happy family or emotional fulfillment. Perhaps the Emperor reverse left an inheritance or a house to a child and not the parents. The Page of Cups can also be the new or the adult baby of the family, or a children's charity, or a child found an adoptive family, or someone found out they were adopted and possibly happy about it because they don't like their family, perhaps very different from the rest of the family. Perhaps someone who, burns really easily on the beach, or very white and pale, or someone who's more sensitive than the rest of their family, or wears black shoes that are comfortable as opposed to being uncomfortable in pretty shoes, or found their true north in their true family, which is 342, which is the Empress and the Two of Cups. And I apologize for tripping over my words, but I believe Mercury goes direct today, which is probably the reason why, because I'm Virgo and it affects me a lot. So we're at 343 now, which is the Three of Cups and coming together, and the Empress and abundance and Gaia. Lifting up or celebrating the child, the innocent. The King of Pentacles reversed with negative self-talk, or the Page of Swords reversed, the child, comes into their magician embodiment, their true DNA, in need of peace. Perhaps the King of Pentacles reversed and the Page of Swords reversed need peace away from each other, calling in their soulmate, and very soon we have Aquarius upright, Aries reversed, Taurus upright, Virgo and Gemini upright right here. The Knight of Wands reversed player, or failed rescue efforts in betrayal of third-party twin, or choice to date or to come together for a meal and talk. The Divine Feminine in the 5D world, or world upside down, needing to end the cycle, and the Hermit reversed, missing their flame, and now it's time to do something about it. So remember Pi and Phi. Pi is the off-centeredness, and Phi is the need to do something about it. No more remote view of two dark goats at work and his pockets, or all up in his business. Now time for footsie under the table. No more hermiting while others are loving each other, right? So no more staying alone while you see others being loving to their partners. So spiritual partnership comes up here of 27, and communication, which is 33. 27 is the Ace of Wands. 33 is the Christ vibration, and a 7 of Wands, standing up for yourself, taking the high ground. The Three of Pentacles reversed, issues at work, or all about third-party twin, new passion and standing up for themselves. The truth of the Page of Pentacles, student, earth child, or opportunity or invitation to use their intuition, to let the secrets out, and to become the King of Wands, the master of your passions, which is inspiration and ego. So don't forget that. Passion is 3D because it has to do with ego. It's inspiration plus ego. So the less ego we have, the more pure inspiration we go into. With loss of hope, when there are no options, becoming inspired takes, as opposed to the King of Wands, takes the Page of Wands upright, that young energy. You don't need a crystal ball to be inspired. Just consult your intuition. Look back at what roads you took to get you where you are now. Letting go of things that sting, dark birds and no birds. Both can sting equally. Sunflowers dumped out at night, grass in the ceiling, and hiding your vices from view, trying to take what's leaked out and put it back where it doesn't belong. Get back to where you once belonged. So that was coming up. The King of Wands and two kids, the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Wands, and perhaps a spouse with no intuition here, or kids telling your secrets, or being harder on the child who is just like you, your mirror image. Fire and earth strong here, but air and water are weak. The truth out of secrets and depression, of arrogance and vanity, but the King of Wands and Page of Wands and Page of Pentacles are ignoring or overlooking it, considering themselves above all of that at 428, which is the Emperor and the twins, the Two of Wands, choosing a path. The Page of Wands with no reason, or with the Emperor reversed out of control, abusing their power, or stepping down in ego death, or an elder who has since passed. Showing emotional fulfillment, the happy family, but no peace, over isolating, or too much going within, or brain disease, or mental illness. Issues with work or spiritual partnership here. The recent past is abundance, or the Empress, the mother with open arms wide, to the wounded warrior being offered a new path, even though it's not easy to do in these uncomfortable energies. The dark night, death, and or transition through the Ten of Cups family, or emotional fulfillment, to synchronicities and choices and dreams fulfilled with lover or dark night, or Scorpio wanting to experience or bring happy family to lover with fun options, synchronicities. It's like the masculine or Scorpio or dark night energy wanting to bring what's good from his life into the divine feminine. So bringing that happy family to his lover with fun options and synchronicities, a different yet same perspective as them. Trying to give lover everything they ever wanted. Judge, Gemini, or Libra lover aroused by grounding and integrating love as opposed to boredom, which is death, nothingness, in need of peace from guilt and shame. The good Jewish mother of the Page of Wands makes him feel guilt and shame for not doing things her way. How could you hurt your mother like this? By choosing what actively resonates for you. Bliss. So by you wanting to do what resonates with you and have bliss, your mother is making you feel guilty for wanting that, which is not love. The father passed, or mother and father don't agree what's best for the child, or mother wants a child but the father doesn't, and the Empress gets pregnant anyway, and the Empress forced to pay and be happy about it too. Or the mother keeps harassing you to have a child, whether you're ready or not. So this is coming up as different things the feminine does to make the masculine feel guilty, or the feminine mother, right? The mother who wants to guilt their child. So the foundation is the Page of Swords reversed with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community dysfunction, the loss, or with mental disease, or tending to over-isolate, or with a parent with Alzheimer's or another mental disease or dementia. Dumping a load, burden, or responsibility, confessing, depression, loss of hope, and coping mechanism, and the world upside down, the family's a mess, with bad news, no news, spying, bipolar, autism, ADD, ADHD, chronic lying, or just a kid with a foul mouth or just mean. The central energy is the Four of Swords, lay to rest. Sleeping, prayer, or meditation of 5D connection, the final judgment, meeting your maker, call to prayer, announcement, wake-up call, action. Time to get up, recover from exile, destitution, injury, and illness. The Queen of Wands upright and the Page of Wands upright, destined to school the man, or be religious, traditional, to follow societal norms, or Libra and Taurus, the men's club, or Sphinx schooling the Pope. The minx must learn to cope, or go to sleep at night, stop making so much noise, or someone awakened from the noise of others having sex every day, or the woman required to service the man no matter what time of day or night, or vice versa, if the woman wears the pants in the family, at 457, which is the Emperor and the Three of Swords, which is the heartbreak of the masculine, because not only women can be taken advantage of, but the man can be taken advantage of as well. So this has to do with the women wearing the pants, right? Or the heavy-handed mother making their son a mama's boy and then marrying a wife just like their mother. Or the mother and son expected to abide by certain traditions, whether they're religious or family or whatever the traditions are. The mama's boy must follow the family's religion, or certain rules apply to men and others to women. The challenge being the Ten of Cups, to keep the appearance of a happy family, living in the past, the old way, and confessing your sins at church, synagogue, temple, etc. Keeping the sin out of the home, or in other words, the sinus rhythm, the balance, the happiness, the bliss. The sign or sin are us, right? The sinus rhythm, or the rhyme to the nth degree. There's no rhyme, rhythm, or rhyme, no reason or season. Be happy, be loved, share and be charitable, and perform for a living. Juggle, act, keep the balls up in the air. Balancing, act, without looking back. Giving to others frees you, they tell you. Sacrifice for the good of the whole. To give to yourself is not considered holy. The challenge being emotional fulfillment. The Queen of Swords talking about twins or kids and the love between them. Overworking at work, not like work at all, no matter what time of day or night, based on inspiration, right? If you're home inspired to what you do, it's not like work at all. The distant relationship or relationship at a distance, stealing from your happiness as the wounded warrior is receiving the dark bird counsel at night, as the Knight of Cups offers love to his twin, patient angel or Saggy, not seeing each other face to face while dumping a load, freeing him to be loved and be charitable to others. The dark night received by guilt at the end of the day, the way it's supposed to be according to his mother, just give more and you'll feel better. To others in the state of emergency, the brokenness, the broke up, down or through, anything but focus on you. Viking priestess with olive on the brain, sovereign told to make sure he fights for and defends her honor, or your honor, whether you're right or wrong. So this is talking about defending your partner, whether they're right or wrong. Which is that love? No. That's enabling someone else. No one's good enough for my daughter or son. So you know that energy as well. And then how can the partner ever live up to their partner's expectations because their parent puts them on a pedestal? So now, and that definitely was in my parents' relationship too. My grandmother was really mean to my mother because no one was good enough for her son. Okay, so the Queen of Wands crowning herself, since no actual achievements, suffering in silence or sister at war, with the King of Wands reversed, but the round is over. Ten of Pentacles treasure is up for grabs, perhaps to the highest bidder. All or nothing. This could be a father too, who gets the kids to compete, but his inheritance is going to the winner, not to all the kids, to get them to compete for their success, to make him look good, right? The Knight of Cups offers love to the Emperor reversed at night. Could be the Queen of Wands upright and the King of Wands reversed are fighting over inheritance of the Emperor reversed, while the Knight of Cups upright is the only one caring for him and actually not his blood relative. And this could be the masculine caring for his father-in-law when the others are fighting over his inheritance, or any situation like that. Or the Queen of Wands upright and the King of Wands reversed may be divorcing but living together. Justice and the Devil, or Libra Capricorn, perhaps shocked a female Libra by not rescuing the Queen of Wands this time and saying hasta la vista, or the player falling short or holding back their true desires, stealing from and taking back from family justice, patiently implementing a plan while all business relationship is not working at 525, which is the Hierophant and the Knight of Wands, which is that player falling short when he's reversed. So all business relationship that's not working in disconnect, which can be Taurus and Sagittarius energy here with the 525, not learning their lesson or in need of help, money, or opportunity from Empress and or King of Cups, perhaps Taurus or Scorpio, Libra or Sagittarius. The King of Cups offering to his spoiled pet or daughter, or Scorpio to Leo, while the guilt-ridden are holding their tongue and offering sexual energy or creative opportunities to the Empress. The King of Cups attempting a peace offering to the King of Wands reversed on behalf of his daughter, the Queen of Wands, but the King of Wands reversed is not having it this time, exposing all and energized, on a quest to let go and make repairs or amends with a powerful love that's balanced of giving and receiving. A secret sovereign defense, or with grown kids, not sure how their son may react to him. Soon as the Page of Cups upright, the message of love, new love, puppy love, or a child with a heart that's wide open or open wide. The Queen of Pentacles upright and the Queen of Cups upright, in a painful ending or settling out with the King of Cups upright, putting on an act to cheer them up or to let one down easy and free himself at the same time. Perhaps settling out with or helping support the Queen of Pentacles and his kids or grandchildren, defenseless to not being told about the awakening and the purge, knowing and keeping to themselves a new passion for bleeding out and ending pain all at the same time. He sees himself as weak or an ego death, needing the courage after breaking through the ring of fire to sovereign or patient angel to see them face to face, for purity to meet abundance and merge. Release your ex comes up, heart-to-heart conversations, and children are affecting your love life. And then in a separate section, honeymoon, which is taking a break away and freeing yourself and forgiving and learning. That as you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. Around the masculine, or how he is seen, is the Knight of Cups in a coffee cup, offering love in 5D connection, at rest, exposed, kids and fully energized, with prisoner connection, and the Knight of Pentacles offering help elsewhere, or the Knight of Cups resting with kids, and the Knight of Pentacles prisoner or with prisoner, or is a hostage of work. The block for the masculine here is the King of Cups, with his left eye on you, which is the feminine side. Awake and purging, dumped or dumping a load, or overwhelmed, not satisfied or bored, or grounding and integrating an offer. Change comes up, which is number 5, the Hierophant, and freedom and change and expansion. But even more so for the masculine here is pride, right? With all that Leo energy, number 19. In need of peace, with the Queen of Pentacles upright. Middle East world exposed and settling out with the High Priestess or Viking princess at war for independence, or her country is at war. Group is broken, or misery loves company, coming together to fall apart in the state of emergency around the world, canceled moves, travel, and bleeding out about it. The world reversed, exposed fully, giving to those who help themselves and are accepting of others, unlike themselves. The Stairway to Heaven, the King of Swords reversed, and the Page of Wands upright, inspired to climb out of a hole and float on air atop Mount Everest without a mask. And I wasn't even thinking of the mask that we have to put on, but that's what it's referencing as well. Because this is like the masculine wanting to take a break and just breathe the air without a mask on, which is also the masked boy taking his mask off. And this was all at 5:55, which is major change. Major change around the world. And then from Les Miserables, because remember, misery loves company, do you hear the people sing? And I was getting, do you hear the angels sing? So the one verse from that song is, do you hear the people sing, singing a song of angry men? Is the music of a people who will not be slaves again. So is the music of a people who will not be slaves again. When the beating of your heart echoes the beating of the drums, there is a life about to start when tomorrow comes. Okay? So that was coming up there. So weak at the sight of the High Priestess or secret, needing courage to offer a brand new life. 3 angel trumpeters blowing their horns. The Atlas Triangle waiting for the head to be placed back on the platter, back to where it once belonged. As Buddha, Durga, or Gandhi listen patiently to the angels singing. Ego death and intuition equals unity consciousness and heaven on earth. The karma of holding back feelings and desires, of disconnect and player others. Falling short of expectations, no reason, as the Emperor reversed in a fall or death or rhyme, as the Page of Swords reversed is silent or without a word, in need of strength, courage to be themselves, to be love and abundance, and to rest and connect in the 5D, and challenged by everyone, the emotional happiness and fulfilled. The Page of Cups innocent and heart opened wide, with the King of Cups, the father and child, and the Queen of Wands needing closure and to end the cycle, to come full circle, to take the steps with the Page of Wands to climb out of the dark and into the light, to truly know and keep their energy pure, to be courageous and intuitive, and offer time, money, and energy in unity consciousness. The Emperor reversed and the Empress upright, plus the Page of Wands upright and the Page of Swords reversed, which can represent the inner children as well of the Emperor and the Empress, giving it a rest or learning to meditate, challenged by the Ten of Cups, family happiness, with the Queen of Wands, drama queen, needing strength and courage of the Page of Cups, innocence, to open their heart, with the Knight of Cups upright to be the love, and then the King of Cups upright to master unconditional love, even when the world is in disarray. The 7 steps to heaven: the root, the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. Remove the mask and come out of the basement to see how beautiful the sky is. The Montagues come down as the Capulets go up. Warriors chill out, and the peacemaker or lawmakers heat up. Okay, and that was your read. Very cool read. All right, so I'm going to pull some energy cards for you to see what's going on here. What do we need to get from this? So for everybody watching, for the best and highest good of all those concerned, take a deep breath. What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? It was 5151, which is the King of Swords. The King of Swords, about the air signs all heating up now. So the warriors are cooling down, right? So the drama people, the fire signs are cooling down. The air signs are heating up. So the politicians, the lawmakers, politics, military, anything like that. Any kind of council or the justice system. So what is our takeaway from this read today? What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? Let's clear all negative energies across all dimensions of time, space, matter, and realities for the highest good of all those concerned, and fill that empty space with beautiful divine love and diamond crystalline light. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, what is our message? Well, 3 cards came out. The bottom of the deck is 42, which is the woman holding a coin. Again, the woman wearing the pants in the family, who is part of the patriarchy because she's holding more masculine than feminine and abusing her power. Look at her face. And this is the 2 of Cups reversed, right? The disconnect from higher self. And the 2 of Cups was reversed in this read, I believe. All right, so we have 35 of the first chakra, Archangel Michael, which we just referenced the chakras a lot. The root from the Atlas balance energy from the Atlas to the root, but also the 7 chakras that I just listed as the 7 steps to heaven. 35 is the wounded warrior, which are now cooling down. So we're cooling down the root chakra now, not focusing as much on the lower 3D chakra systems, and then having patience with the 16 and the tower coming in, the clock tower, okay, and the Statue of Liberty. Oh, the angels are coming. Do you hear? All right, so a couple years ago, the Spirit's connecting with me. I got a download to go to the Statue of Liberty, which I did with my daughter. But when I got that vision, I was seeing, I believe it was a Pleiadian starship was coming into the Statue of Liberty, and the angels were there to meet them there and collect information. They were all at the bottom of the Statue of Liberty, and the starship was hovering above. So here's the clock tower and the Statue of Liberty coming all, it's like Philadelphia and Ben Franklin and the Statue of Liberty. So I'm getting this combination here. I'm getting a reference to Ben as well. But the City Hall, there's a clock tower, City Hall. I'm trying to remember, I can't even think. But definitely there's a connection here between Philadelphia, obviously, because the Declaration of Independence and all of that, and then New York from the Statue of Liberty here. and the angels. Okay, and then you see he's wings here and wings here. His wings are up, her wings are down. So as the root chakra cools off, there is more patience. The feminine can cool down. It's like as the root chakra has less focus right now, it gives the feminine a break with the tower coming in. And then we have the action, and that's so perfect because I said action. There's the two running together, the two polarities coming in to merge, which is the 17 of the star of dreams coming true, of healing and shining your light, and healing, having your dreams come true and shining your light as the beautiful. Look how beautiful those horses are. This is about integrating your dark and your light and merging them together and taking action, right? Doing something about it. 17. This is perfect. It rolled the messages from the read-in so perfectly. So these are the three cards together, right? Away from the feminine, masculine energy, right? The woman with all the money who's abusing her power, just like the man who would abuse his power because she's more masculine energy than feminine. And then here is the energy of the masculine finding peace, right, with patience, like letting go of his 3D self to come more into his patience energy and take action, right? Feeling bad, feeling sad, and then doing something about it by coming together and merging, going from the 16 to the 17. This was the July 4th, 5, and 6 was the 15, 16, and 17 energy. All right, so this is the 6th was a 17, it added up to a 17. So going from the devil energy, it's not the 15 here, but the wounded warriors was in a war with the devil. And that 15 going to a 16 and 17, going from the tower of the sudden events, the breakthroughs, to get to dreams come true and merge and take action. How perfect is that? All right, so let's go into the Kipper deck. See what the Kipper deck, and there we have it's at 57:35 now. And that's the the three-way situation, the heartbreak for all three people in a three-way situation. And then the wounded warrior of the 35, right, on their last leg from fighting so hard this whole time, their whole life. All right, so from the Kipper deck, what is our message? Message of concern, 14. That's also the Temperance card of the angels, a higher love, and receiving a message of concern. With a house reversed, perhaps somebody's moving or perhaps lost a house or having issues with a house, or this can have to do with the White House or some kind of political group or royalty falling. All right, off journey. So someone perhaps was moving, is no longer moving, and somebody received the message of that. And it has to do with something legal, because we have the courthouse coming up after that, because they want to stay, and there's a courtship here. So they're not moving in order to stay. And courtship, you get it? Court. Somebody definitely wants to make something legitimate, right? And there's no doubt about this. This is definitely a proposal to someone, right? We have the Emperor and the Empress, and the 23 of the King of Wands. So perhaps this is a friend helping them get the stuff together. King of Wands and the Emperor and the Empress coming together here. And remember that the King of Wands is the man of passion, who needs to let go of their ego to become more like the Page of Wands, who's more inspired as opposed to ego. And then we have the Lovers right after that. All right, there's no question here. Look. Courtship, marriage, and lovers. There's a beautiful energy here. And then walking away, perhaps in poverty, from walking away from something they had, perhaps now walking into a privileged lady. 37 is being unconditionally loving, and then 12 is being wise. right? So maybe they still have what they had because they were being wise with what they had. And here them leaving what they had to have faith. So one is learning to have faith, the other one is learning to how to hold abundance. And that was what was coming together in the reads. Whatever, it's the same kind of parallel, bringing together the love and the abundance and the love and the truth. It's each learning their opposite lesson, like whatever the other one's really good at, the other had to learn. And then we have the bottom of the deck is the thief. So the underlying energy was this, letting people steal your energy, steal your heart, steal your soul. And the 24 is the Queen of Wands energy. And here's the community upside down, right? Falling apart, a mess. That's what I started out the read with, the clusterfuck. Okay? Because of people wanting to steal, be dishonest, not being true, not being authentic with themselves. And now I have to see this again. I'm being called to show this to you again. Do you hear the people singing a song of angry men? Remember, the thief is someone who's been hurt or feels like something was taken from them. It is the music of a people who will not be slaves again. When the beating of your heart echoes the beating of the drums, and the little drummer boy comes up there, there is a life about to start when tomorrow comes. So, and again, I have my little Cinderella, Rudolph, and little drummer boy thing on my piano. I don't know if you can see that. I showed this to you once before, but I didn't do this on purpose. I just ended up putting it up there that way. So you have Cinderella's coach with Rudolph pulling it, but Rudolph doesn't have his nose because he lent it to the little drummer boy, and the little drummer boy left his mallet there with Cinderella to hold it for him. Because you'll see that the little drummer boy and Cinderella are not there. They're somewhere else doing something else. So it was really cute how that came up. Okay, guys. So make sure you drink your water and get your rest. It was just 1, 2, 3, by the way. Jump. Jimmy, jump. Make sure you get your water, your rest, your joy, and your nature. It's a beautiful day out. I don't know if you can see how sunny it is out. There's the nice tree in front of my house. Okay. I'll leave you with that. And rise and be love.